So this is on behalf of somebody. Dr. Peterson, having listened to your expositions on the mythological evolution and amalgamation of religion, and keeping in mind your working definitions of belief and truth, and despite the obvious reasons for somebody of your background to identify most with Christianity, my understanding is that you believe Christianity to be the most complete and articulated form of many of the metaphysical ideas that preceded it and led up to that. Keeping that in mind, would it also be accurate to therefore say that you're not only a believer in Christianity, but also, if to a lesser degree, also a believer in Marduk, in the ancient Egyptian gods, and the subsequent gods that you've spoken of here that led up and contributed to the form of Christianity that you're discussing and that you identify with?
Okay, I got to take that one apart a little bit. I'm bounded in my judgment with regards to Christianity by my ignorance. I'm no student of Hinduism. So I can't make the claim forthrightly that there's something intrinsically superior to the Judeo-Christian tradition, because I don't know enough to make that claim. The claim I can make is that there's something that's dreadfully right about the core elements of the Judeo-Christian tradition. And I've seen analogs to that. Like one of the things I'd like to do, for example, is to do a short series on the Tao Te Ching, because that is one remarkable document. Once you know, especially, you might want to read it. You can go online and read it. It's very short. Tao Te Ching, Taoteaching, and it's the fundamental text of Taoism. And once you know that the world of being is made of chaos and order, and you know that that's represented by the yin and the yang, all of a sudden you can understand the Tao Te Ching. And it's brilliantly simple and straightforward in its exposition, but it also seems to me to be entirely commensurate with the line of let's call it logic. It's more like the mode of description of being that's encapsulated in these stories. Now, with regards to being a believer, people ask me all the time two things, hey, do you believe in God, and are you a Christian? And the answer to that, both of those, is actually, there's two answers. One is, what the hell makes you think it's any of your business? That's the first answer. And the second is, why do you think that you mean the same thing with those questions that I would mean with my answer? So, you know, because it's such a funny thing, because I've spent like and this is no accusation with regards to your questions in the least, you know.
I think it's more about trying to track the development of these ideas and, you know, the residual truth and psychological significance of all these other traditions that seem...
Well, you know, I've been floored by other mythological structures. Like when I first understood, or thought I understood, the meaning of the Mesopotamian creation myth, I've never recovered from that, I would say. And the same thing is true of the investigations I did into the Egyptian myths of Horus and Isis and Osiris and Seth. It's just, they're so relevant. I mean, they're so unbelievably relevant. And how to see, this is a problem that none of us really know how to solve. It's like there are sources of wisdom all over the world, let's say, and they need to be made commensurate with one another, which isn't to say that they need to be turned into a fast food mall. You know, that's like multiculturalism, right? It's like all the food of the world served in the most terrible possible manner, all in one place. It's something like that. And you don't want to do that with comparative religion. It's just water everything down and say, well, it's all nice. It's like, no, it is not nice. Yeah, or that it's all the same, because it's not all the same. So the job of communicating between those domains of wisdom is really continuing, right? It's been a problem ever since the beginning of civilization, but it's continuing. And I would say the psychoanalysts, Jung in particular, took huge steps in the direction of doing that in an extraordinarily positive way. And not a simple-minded way at all, and not just hand-waving that, oh, well, it's everyone has won and all shall have prizes. Not that. So, yeah.